Episode 153 of SETTY Bimco, the bombastic SETTY Bimco, where we create sequels to movies that never had them. We're in the middle of our Koopy Loopy 50 Nifty tour of the United States, and by middle, we mean damn near the end. We only got a handful left, folks. And today, we're doing New Hampshire. What? There's a New Hampshire now? And the movie is Don't Let the River Beast Get You.
Yep, came out 8 years after The Passion of the Christ, as we like
Which
to
is
say.
when, Tim?
2012, right?
Well, yeah, that's when this movie came out. I was thinking Passion of the Christ for a second.
Oh, sorry. 2004, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh,
all right.
Well,
Old age question.
Math. We usually do Star Wars, but we're in the 2000s.
And Tim can't carry something from the tens com. So
age-old question about revenge we start every episode with. Hey, George.
Hey, Tim.
Did the vinyl record-obsessed hipster who decided to live in an underground burrow, did he ever get revenge on his rabbit roommate who constantly used his classic jazz albums to roll his joints on? Yeah, scratched him up.
Why a rabbit?
Who else would live in a burrow? Come on.
A hobbit.
So many questions.
Yeah.
They don't smoke pot. They smoke pipes.
Wait, have you not seen those Peter Jackson films? They're always talking about the leaf they found and shit.
It's SETTY Bimco Part 2, The Revenge. The show where we create revenge sequels that nobody wanted.
It's SETTY Bimco Part 2, The Revenge. We'll make sequels so you don't have to. And I'm Tim Hamilton. I'm a cartoonist for The New Yorker sometimes.
And I'm George O'Connor. I'm never a cartoonist for The New Yorker, but I am a New York Times best-selling author of such series as Olympians and Asgardians.
Yes.
Yes, that's us.
That's us.
Yep. We're definitely not Bat and Spider. Just saying that out there.
Is that another podcast?
I don't know what that is. I'm just saying I'm not that.
Hey, since we're getting to the end of almost all the states, because if you're new, George wanted to do a movie in every state, made in every state of the United States.
And a few territories, too.
And
just
a few
to make
territories.
It really long. Yeah, we did D.C. and like Guam? No, we didn't do Guam. We did Virgin Islands.
I think we did Guam with Kevin Cablasto.
We did do Guam? Oh, maybe Cablasto. Occasional co-host Kevin Cablasto. He likes Oreos. That's all you need to know about him.
But let me say now, because every time we plan something, you usually forget it. But when we get to the end, maybe we'll just say what we felt was our favorite movie we found in the United States that we saw on our big journey.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Listen for like 4 more episodes, people, because that's how much we got.
3 more. Then
let's
you're
start
including
all the territories. Hey, by the time we get to the end, maybe we'll have annexed Greenland too. Who knows?
Maybe.
We live in strange times. Do we have anything we want to talk about?
I had nothing to say. Nothing's happened. It's rainy. I went on a long hike through Manhattan, chanting. Walked around a Tesla a lot of times. Yeah, I don't want to say what we're doing. You can't.
I don't think you should mention that because I feel like certain powers.
I know. That's why I'm saying it like that. Coded. Yep. If you're listening out there, ships abroad, New England, you know what we mean.
Do you think people are just staying right outside of international waters listening, saying like, our only hope of discovering what's happening in these United States is this podcast, SETTY Bimco. They're doing a tour of the 50 Nifty. Yar. That's my sailor voice.
Giving each other tattoos.
Do you think that their boat sinks and they go into the water? And
well, why would you say that?
Because the sharks come after them. Their cruel eyes, like dolls' eyes. Should we talk about New Hampshire? Do we have anything we want to talk about? It's just like, Tim, you and I, we're friends, right?
No.
We're definitely not enemies, right?
Our episodes are so long, that we should just get to it. But what are you going with this enemies thing?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we never talk as just friends. All we talk about is states
and see each other.
No, we don't. Today, folks, we were trying. I'm just gonna say. I'm not gonna say when we're recording. I'm not gonna even confirm that Tim has a birthday but we were trying to get Tim to commit to going out for a birthday for him to celebrate. You best believe this guy was pretending he didn't see we asked it. He was like,
I don't always see.
Yeah, the man who lives on our internet threads just.
No, let me say, when I look at my phone and there's 27 messages, I'm like, oh, this is George and another friend talking about the Legion of Superheroes, so I can just skip this.
How dare you? Legion of Superheroes is the best stuff to talk about. How else would you know what Gim Allen was up to in the 31st century?
Do they each have their own planets you know about? Like Star Trek, you're like Vulcan, they're logical, I know that planet. Kronos, where Klingons live, they do not. You don't know.
No, I can.
Bouncing boy. What planet's he from?
He's
What's the
actually
culture
Chuck.
there?
He's Chuck Tane from Planet Earth. That's not very exciting. Choose a different character.
I don't know them. The lady with wings. The lady with wings.
Dawnstar is from a place called Starhaven, which is an asteroid populated by former Native Americans who were exiled into space. It's not great.
Racist.
There's a lot of don't even start me on Tyrock. You don't want to hear his story.
What planet's he from?
He's from the planet Marzipal, which is an interdimensional realm where all the black people were exiled to. And this is why in the future, because the Legion of Superheroes for the first, let's say 30 years was published, strangely, there was no black people in the team. There was orange people and green people, but no black people. That's because they all went to Marzipal. Yeah, it's not good.
Oof.
And he had the power to scream. Yep. My favorite planet, though, is my favorite Legionnaire. It's Matter Eater Lad, who comes from the planet Bismol. Get it?
I remember that, yeah.
And the capital city is Peptol. Yeah, it's good.
Wow,
it's
that's
good.
real?
That's for real. He is the best character. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So New Hampshire, that's not part of Legion of Superheroes.
Nope, that's a state.
Let's talk about it.
Some people like it. Some people don't.
Yeah. New Hampshire is the 9th state. Did you know that, Tim?
No.
Joined the Union in January 21st, 1788.
Did John Lennon write a song about this state? Number 9?
You know, that song is called Revolution Number 9.
But I'm singing it. Number 9.
Yeah, yes, you are. Okay. But you only ever call it number 9. It's like all the infinite things in this universe, which number 9 can represent. You only know it as the partial title of a Beatles
the
song.
most controversial and least liked Beatles song. Which
I think there's probably least liked, actually.
I think that's the one that tops out most lists.
I think something Ringo did probably gets lower. Occasional call-in guest to Seddy Bimco. So the nickname of New Hampshire is the Granite State. And its motto is the rather aggressive "Live free or die."
Yep.
It's not. That's weird. Its capital is Concord, but its biggest city is Manchester, not to be confused with Manchester, England.
England. Yeah.
It is one of 9 states in the Union that has no income tax. And it's
Really?
also, isn't that weird? Well, it's actually not. You'll hear the rest of this shit.
Okay.
Because it's also, this is cool. It's one of the least religious of all states, but it is libertarian as fuck. Hence the live free or die. It's among the most highly educated states and wealthy states. But
it's way up there where it's cold, right?
I mean, it's New England, so it's colder than New York, but it's not as cold as,
talking
say...
geography.
Yeah.
Do you know your geography? It's way up there.
What are you getting at?
It's just far up there. Is it next? Does it border Canada?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't think so.
It's up
Maybe
there
it
ways.
does. I think it borders New York, Tim.
I think there's still a glacier there. All right.
Guys, don't know. Population of 1,400,000, less people than live in Brooklyn.
Ooh.
All right. You want to jump in with your stuff? I got more facts, but I like to give you a chance to talk.
Got my odd laws.
Yep, let's
I've
hear
been
some
doing
odd
laws for our states.
Only for the last 7 or so, because we did not have this good idea earlier, unfortunately.
We don't plan well.
No, we're bad. We're bad at podcasting.
Plan.
We're better than Bat and Spider, but that's really a very low bar.
They don't do odd laws. You only get that here.
Let's hear it.
Well, New Hampshire, it's against the law to keep time to music. In New Hampshire, law forbids tapping your feet, nodding your head, or otherwise keeping time to music in a tavern, restaurant, or cafe.
How dare you fucking call yourself the live free or die state? And you're not like that's so fucking typical, right? Some guy in power who had no rhythm was like, oh my God, is it Footloose? Is it Footloose?
I figure it's a very white state, so nobody can keep time. It's just to keep everybody from being embarrassed, right?
They also can't jump because white people can't jump.
Nope.
Yep.
So there's no jumping in that state.
Yep.
Sunday machinery restrictions. You may not run machinery on Sundays. Come on.
That's a broad topic. I wonder what cars.
I know.
Is that what you feel like? Live free or die state, you fucking libertarian shitheads?
Yep. Well, the best one. It's illegal to build a spite fence higher than 5 feet. You know what a spite fence is?
I'm guessing a fence to piss off your neighbor.
Yes.
Oh, I have a neighbor that I need to build a spite fence to. I'm all aboard that. Yeah.
Wonder what the limit in New York is.
Well, we have some trees growing there, so as tall as the trees are.
Oh, I wonder if you get around, if you can grow some shrubbery and be like, it's not a fence. It's 10 feet tall.
I honestly don't. I feel like New York, which is not as quote unquote a free as state, we don't have those rules. They're like fucking New York. Who cares?
Nope.
All right. So here's
it
probably is. New Hampshire is where traditionally the first presidential primary is held every 4 years. That won't be happening anymore, probably. It was the first state to declare independence from England, and I wrote 1175. That's certainly not correct. 1775.
Right, George.
No. This is fun. The state flower is the purple lilac. The state bird is the purple finch. And the state animal is the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater.
I figured.
Because that shit's free.
I guessed it. I almost said that.
We're a good podcast. This is a fun one and a bit controversial. I always like to look up first elevator, first streetcar, and like notable cryptids. First elevator, couldn't find out because there's a bit of a controversy. First off, because nobody seems to lay claim to elevators there. I think because you have to cooperate with people to do that. Like, I'm free. I don't take elevators. But instead,
people are free falling there. No elevators.
Oh, that's good. Is Tom Petty from there?
Yes.
So there is a place called Stores Hill Resort, STORR, which claims to have the oldest continually operated ski lift in America, built in 1935.
Okay.
It's in Vermont. But Tim, Mountain View Grand Resort and Spa, also in New Hampshire, contends they have the oldest ski lift elevator. So they're fighting. It's just a big fight.
Fighting.
They're all going to die. They're going to live free and die. Yeah. The first streetcar, it was called the horse car. It was in 1877. It was in Manchester. And the first
drawn by a horse?
It was drawn by a horse.
The horse car? Okay.
Yeah, it could have. There's other things that could have been. Yeah. And then in 1897, the first electric streetcar was built connecting the towns of Exeter and Hampton, and some beach resort. And that ran until 1920. And now cryptids. There's a lot of things here. There's the wood devils, which are like skinny Sasquatches. There's the devil monkeys, which are like skinny Sasquatches.
Devil monkeys.
There's the Gosper caps. Oh, you better believe we'll talk about Gosper caps later.
Okay.
But the thing I decided to actually do, this is the site. Tim, have you ever heard of Betty and Barney Hill?
Yeah. Oh, Benny and Barney Hill. No.
What did you think? You think of Benny Hill? Yeah. Oh, Benny Rubble. Yeah.
No.
Betty and Barney Hill in 1961 were a married couple riding through rural New Hampshire outside of Exeter when they were victims of what is considered to be the first modern day abduction.
Oh, I do remember. There was a movie made about them.
Yeah,
TV
you know
movie.
who played Barney Hill in that movie?
You're going to say,
I'm going to say the name of the guy who did it. So, yeah, James Earl Jones.
What?
Darth Vader's voice himself.
Whoa, I don't remember that. I saw that movie.
Yeah. It's possible.
In my head, it's Mickey Rooney. I don't know.
The two of them look very similar.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the facts I have about New Hampshire.
Speaking of Barney Rubble, listen to this. Listen to this.
Okay.
Did you know this? I read this randomly on Wikipedia while looking up this stuff.
So terrified. Yeah.
People in the audience, they know of the comic strip known as BC by Johnny Hart, who has passed away, but he did the comic strip in the newspaper BC. We all know what I'm talking about.
It got oddly Christian in his later years.
Because he got oddly Christian, but it's about cavemen, and they got wheels, and there's dinosaurs, and,
There was a character named Fat Broad. Remember that?
Fat Broad, yep.
Yep. Good.
Real Boner's Arc type of comic.
Good going there, you big old Christian.
Well, I didn't know this, but in the early 60s, he was in talks with Hanna-Barbera to make a cartoon about BC. But it all fell apart. Didn't happen. So you know what they made instead?
The Jetsons.
Flintstones.
Oh, I was so close.
You were so close. Same thing. There's dinosaurs. They're riding around on stone wheels. I never made the connection.
That is, considering Hanna-Barbera already just shamelessly ripped off the Honeymooners in order to
they just...
Yeah, so why not? Why not steal shit from BC, too? Good stuff.
Oh, you were done and I was done?
I think so. So let's talk about the movie, huh?
Yeah. The flag is just an anchor. Nice anchor like Popeye's anchor. That's all I got to say. If Popeye was real, he'd live in New Hampshire, I think.
So this movie is 2012's Don't Let the River Beast Get You, with an exclamation point. It's directed by a gentleman named Charles Roxburgh, who's done a bunch of films like this. Like, if you look at his filmography, there's probably about 12 films that he's done of this sort of quality. It was co-written by Roxburgh and main star of the movie, Matt Farley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you did some deep diving on Matt Farley, Tim.
I did. I found out he writes a lot of songs about fecal matter with a band called the Toilet Bowl Cleaners. And he said that he generates over $500 a month in revenue from these pooping songs. He thinks that kids request it on Alexa, which I don't understand. I don't understand how kids are buying the songs because parents have to pay for it. Yeah, he said 500 in streaming
they're not buying
revenue.
it, Tim. It's streaming. Yeah, so like it's the family.
So
streaming is a thing that people in the modern day use. I know.
I understand it.
I know you have a talking minor bird that plays Stone Records and it says it's a living, but you have an account like with say Spotify and you could request all manner of songs. Though they're not all there, Tim. I'll tell you what. The other day I was listening to Pretty in Pink, and I wanted to hear "Wouldn't It Be Good." Mm-hmm. And the original version, well, not the original version, the version of "Wouldn't It Be Good" that's on the Pretty in Pink soundtrack, it's not on there.
Oh, who sang it?
Yeah,
on Pretty in Pink.
I forgot the guy's name. The weird thing is the guy re-recorded it for Pretty in Pink, so his original version is there, but it sounds different. Listen, I'm like, this sounds weird. It doesn't sound good, and I was mad. And then I had to listen to it on
people like
YouTube.
you don't even remember who sang it.
Yeah,
I think his name
was Matt Farley.
So he does a lot of music. He writes famously 20 songs a week or something, but they're always about poop. You can go to YouTube. There's a lot of songs about poop he sings, about poop getting stuck under your fingernails when the toilet paper doesn't work. A lot of poop stuff.
And you did share a clip with me of him appearing on Jimmy Fallon where he sang a song about buildings that were clearly once Pizza Huts and are no longer Pizza Huts.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't think poop came up in that song though. I bet Fallon didn't allow it because Fallon seems like he sucks.
I liked that clip because the audience wasn't really laughing and it was odd and I don't know. But I liked that. I like that more
nice than this movie.
We watched a movie last week. What was it called? Die Zombie Bastard.
Yep.
Same complaint this week. Just too long. Hour 40 minutes. Come on, guys. Hour 15. Get all your jokes in. Don't you feel the same way about this, or did you love every minute?
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it, but I will confess, I did watch it on slightly faster speed because the way my week arranged itself, I didn't get to watch it until today. So I wanted to make sure I had enough time to like have it sit with me. But no, I mean, I will say, and no offense to these fine filmmakers.
Oh yeah, I should say
at you, Charles Roxburgh and Matt Farley. Like I did like this movie a lot. I did like Die You Zombie Bastards better.
We always say when we look these new movies, we're not shitting on you guys. You guys made a movie. I'm going to give you my honest opinion if I thought
this guy made a movie. This guy writes 20 songs a week. This guy gets $500 from Spotify a week
for his poop songs.
I know from hearing from other I know like famous like big musicians say they get like $20. So like this guy's doing better than like Ariana Grande probably.
No,
come
on.
Yep, he's doing at least in Spotify because those kids are like, lay that poo-poo fingernail shit on me. All right. So here's the movie
for you.
The synopsis, really quick, is the prodigal son of a small town in New England somewhere returns after years away when he left in shame over claims of having spotted a fearsome river beast.
His name is Neil Stewart.
I'm giving the synopsis. That's all coming, Tim. God damn it. And he's coming back for his god cousin's wedding, and to hopefully win back the love of the woman he loved.
Is God cousin a real thing, or is that a joke? I've never heard
I think that's a joke, maybe. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you find, like, if you have a godmother, you could extend it out from there. But so the movie opens with this really funny bit where the most New English guy I've ever seen in the world is
George, it's my drunk Irish uncle. Come on.
He's definitely a guy that you would see if you find yourself in Boston, like I will be later this week, and you walk into any bar in Boston, this guy is definitely in there.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I come before you today with this message of dire importance. The film you're about to see contains scenes of shocking river beast action, which are definitely not for the timid. So, at the insistence of their legal counsel, the filmmakers have included river beast.
If you are weak of heart, we will warn you when the river monster shows up so you don't spill your beer.
That's pretty good, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's true.
Quimby.
So basically the movie, this guy warns us that every time the river beast, by the way, Tim, is about
River
to
beast.
appear, in order to stop you from having heart attacks, it's going to flash red first.
Like they used to do in old movies sometimes. That was a gimmick.
Is it really?
Yeah. I think that was a gimmick of an old movie.
This whole movie was intended apparently as an homage to 1950s films. We've definitely seen almost the exactly same film, but this was very well shot and it had sound I could follow. So that's the two big things that are different from the original 50s, because they're always invariably filmed on like Super 8 that's been left in a garage for 40 years, and like they're like the sound quality is abysmal.
Yep. Like next week, George. Anyway.
Oh, maybe I won't be here next week. So we start off, there's a woman named Allie Stone, although we only know she's Miss Stone now. And she sees her Professor Matthews on a university. Pretty sure, Tim, this is Exeter Academy in Exeter, New Hampshire.
Okay.
I'm just saying that. And she's like,
you can say that.
Well, Professor Matthews, I'm going to go to that spot where everybody sunbathes. He's like, what do you mean? She goes, wait, you haven't heard about all the girls go to this one place and we take off our clothes and sunbathe? It's right at the Merrimack River. And he's like,
Did she say that?
Yeah, she literally does.
Okay. I missed that.
Because it turns out she's trying to entrap him.
Oh, yeah.
So the professor watches them, and he's in a tree filming as she and another girl, as they sit there and they go in the water and are kind of splashing. And I want to stress, they are completely not naked. In case you're thinking, is that sort of
they're
film?
in shorts and T-shirts. And...
They're not even in shorts. I think they're wearing pants. Like they're barefoot. So, but
it's
then
a
the
homemade
girls turn
film.
around.
There's not going to be no nudity.
You know what else was a homemade film, Tim? What we saw last week, Daddy Zombie
Yes,
Bastards.
I know.
It had a very similar scene with women going swimming right in the beginning, and the
Naked
gulf
for no
between so naked, so quick. And it turns out though the girls are actually filming Professor Matthews because they're like
he's a peeping Tom kind of guy.
I think the term they keep saying, he's an indecorous pervert or deviant, indecorous deviant.
He's no worse than Mr. McFly climbed a tree to spy on his future wife, right?
That's true. And he's no worse than the grandpa in episode 150 of Seddy Bimco, Welcome to Coogtown, who is getting a letter from his granddaughter saying, there's a spot we all go sunbathing. It's become a real theme, like women sunbathing, creeps staring at him.
It's no different from our episode, Even Hitler Had a Girlfriend, that starts with our titular hero peeking in windows, watching people have sex.
I forgot it. Tim, not only did I forget about that aspect of that movie, I forgot about that movie.
Go back, check it out.
Go listen to it, folks. Don't be scared. Look, I know if you were an occasional listener of Seddy Bimco, you know that once Tim gets the H word in his mouth, he has trouble letting it go. But this was a real film. So we get some credits, and then we see the river beast just swims to shore and roars. He looks like it looks like a 1950s costume. It's kind of okay. It's like
1970s Doctor Who costume, I'd say.
That's actually, yeah, you're right. It does. It's after the invention of rubber. The 50s ones, it looks like they're making out of foam. This is like, it looks like, well, I did read in trivia. This was, it was a diving suit they cut up and glued together different. He's a fish monster with long claws. Mm-hmm. Then we see a guy in a basement somewhere reading a letter that asks him to come back for his god cousin's wedding. And this song plays that's Neil. Yeah.
Our hero.
And then this song plays. We're getting a little tour of this like little tiny sleepy town. And then we cut back to Allie. Yeah. Tim,
no, that's where I was going.
Oh. And Allie is talking to the chancellor at her finishing school, who is kicking her out of school for entrapping this professor for staring at her.
Gotta say, very Catholic Church of them. Blame the victim.
very, very much sucks.
You're out of here. But Peeper stays.
The Peeper stays. He's fine. And then we rejoin Neil. Neil Stewart is his name. He is back in town, and every single person they all recognize
happy to see him.
Yeah, he's super famous.
Sees a lady who needs help with her groceries, and that's his old flame that he almost married but left at the altar. Her name's Emmeline.
Emmeline, yeah, weird name.
And her new boyfriend shows up, and he's a jerk. He punches
not just her boyfriend,
Neil.
Tim, her fiance, Danny O'Grady. And he has a son from another marriage. Danny O'Grady, and his son's name is...
Brandy?
Oh,
Brandon.
Shit. Brandon,
Doesn't matter.
I didn't write it down.
We don't see him till later.
It matters for my story, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I did a story about Brandy.
Oh, no, really? Uh-oh. So here's what we learned in short order from like just a hilariously amount. It's very funny the way they do the exposition drop. He was going to be married to Emmeline, but she left him at the altar. It was something to do with the river beast, and he was kind of laughed out of town for seeing this river beast.
It's never clear.
No,
it's a very cruel town.
Yeah, and we meet so many characters and like we meet Sheriff Paul T. Hansen, who's like, "I'm keeping an eye on you, boy, because of your rogue baboon you saw." Which I like that word.
Which one, rogue or baboon?
Well, how about the two of them together?
No, I only have one.
No? Rogue baboon. Were you thinking Rogue the X-Men?
No, never.
No, you always think about her. You're like, if she has the power to steal my memories and she touched me. We meet his god aunt, I guess.
Was that his mom, the house he went to? I don't know.
No, because I think she's the mom of the god cousin.
This story's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, well, it's
don't
just
you agree?
Silly. Yeah, it's just silly. And there's stuff you don't find out right away. Like she talks about Teddy, who's his best friend who lives in the basement. Yes. And turns out, like, what we learned about Teddy in short order is Teddy was a musician, but ever since Neil left town, the band broke up. And the band was the one we heard playing before. They're called the River Mud Warriors.
The one guitarist
there.
Fell in love with the lady named Yoko and everything. Yeah.
Sucks. Not every joke needs to be the Beatles. Okay. And so they become roommates in the basement, and they make a pact for each other.
Well, they fight for no reason at first, or is this?
Yeah,
you're getting to
Neil and Teddy fights him because he left him for 3 years when he left town because of the.
But he's like, "Hey, I'm your roommate."
Yeah, I'm your roommate now. He's like, "What?" Because Teddy hadn't been paying his rent.
What's that line from that movie? What's from Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. I'm your goddamn roommate.
That's what he said.
He holds up he holds up the headpiece of the staff of Ra. Yes. And then it was like a movie I wanted to see more. So here's the thing. Neil is a great tutor, and he says this was a funny line. He says your tutor skills are nonpareil, like the candy, I guess.
Yeah.
And so they make a vow to each other. Neil is going to make Teddy play music again because he was the lead songwriter for the River Mud Warriors, and Teddy's going to make Neil be the greatest tutorer.
Are you saying Perel is a candy?
Non-Perel is a candy. Yeah, he actually says instead of non-parallel, non-Perels are those chocolates with the white dots on them.
I thought it was shampoo. Perel. No,
that's Perel the shampoo. Yeah, that's a different thing. Are you being serious here?
Perel.
Is this a joke? Are you
Legion of Superheroes?
What are you doing?
I honestly didn't know what a Perel was, but
you've never had non-Perels?
Nope.
Non-Perels. They're called non-Perels, and they are like dark chocolate dots, like little bits.
As in no.
It's
non,
okay.
as in non.
All right, folks.
I like these.
Gather around, people. It's non as in not. NON hyphen PAREIL. This might be a super New York-y thing, but I grew up with them, and it's dark chocolate discs that were placed on a sheet, and then they put like white sparkles in. Not sparkles.
Never saw them.
Sprinkles in. Delicious. My mom used to eat them all the time. Once when I was a kid, I had a canker sore, and I ate one, and one of the little white dots got in my canker sore, and it hurt really bad. So I've always associated them with canker sores, but I still eat them. Yeah.
Wow.
Neil is then walking through the streets, and a reporter named Sparky Watts comes up to him, and he's got a photographer, and they film them, and he prints an article about Neil's back in town, disgraced tutor back in town.
But he calls him RB. He's like, don't call me RB. That's his nickname for River Beast. And I'm like, okay. This town
everybody calls Neil RB as his nickname.
I know. Because this town is very bad at thinking up nicknames. So, George, you have a list?
I have a list.
Okay.
Did you have a list
first?
too?
Yes.
Okay. It sucks. I was going to do it later, but since you already jumped ahead with the RB, because it comes up more later, in case anyone's wondering. Here's a list of other things RB stands for. Number 1, Ruth Bader.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Number 2, Rogue Baboon. I think that was on purpose because he did that in the movie. Number 3, Runny Bowels.
Oh.
Number 4, Rancid Butt Chunks.
Oh.
Yeah, number 5, rectal blowout. There's a theme.
What's going on?
Number 6, rabbit boinker. That's a guy who fucks rabbits. Yeah,
it is.
Number 7, rabid Bigfoot. That's for you, Tim.
Ooh. That's
Number
scary.
8, rampant boners. That's for you, Tim.
That's scary.
Yep. Number 9, ripping bongs, like when you're taking bong
Nice.
rips. Yeah. And the number 10 and most important thing that RB stands for, Ready Bimco.
Nice. I like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, right?
Very nice.
Right, let's hear your list.
Okay. I don't want to blow you out of the water here.
You're not gonna. I'm not worried at all.
They had a hard time. They tried out some other nicknames before they settled on RB.
Oh, it's other nicknames, not just RB. Oh, it's good. You're opening up, Tim. Let in the hate, Tim.
Because they're bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
So first they tried Neil Ling, and they didn't like that. Then they tried Neil before Zod, but they didn't like that. Then they tried Neela Wafer. They didn't like that.
Oh, because his name is Neil. I'm like, why
His
are we
name
doing
is
all these
Neil.
names? Yeah.
His name is Neil, so he's.
Yep.
They tried Neil Young. They tried Neil Way Too Young. They tried
Neil.
Achilles Neil,
Oh,
and also Doug. That's it.
Doug's.
That's all I could come up with.
Folks,
Two good lists.
Competing nicknames right in at SETTY Bimco with an E at the end at gmail.com. Tell us what you like better. We're talking to you, Bat and Spider. You know who doesn't do lists?
Bat and Spider.
That's right.
They do lists. They do a list
Do
of
they?
things that make them cry just every week.
It's just
It's
everything.
never
It's
ending.
it's every word they say. All right.
Yeah, send a letter. I sent postcards to a lot of comic stores around the country. And on the back of it,
And they're going to be
told them
so
who we were.
confused when they get this. They'll be like,
No.
what? What?
on the back of it, I told them who we are. Said
SETTY
we're comic
Bimco?
artists who do a podcast. So write us a letter. We'll mention your store. Write us in.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, we'll do.
That's
tell you
true.
what,
I'm not
we'll
lying.
we'll do a whole freaking ad, and it might hurt business, but it might not.
No joke, folks.
No jokes.
No joke.
Rippin'
folks. Gotta do
bongs,
it.
rancid boners. I think it was rampant boners. Let's see.
Neil is going to tutor Allie over there. That's what I have.
Well, I want to
Can we just
first
explain
mention.
this?
Yeah, he gets a job. He's in like a park, and he meets two other guys who are going. We learn are the
His
other
friends.
the other
Troy
bandmates too. It's Troy and Millhouse or Millie.
Yeah. Millie does poetry.
And yeah, he's the best poetry tutor, and Troy is the best.
I don't know
some
what he
other
did.
sort of tutor, but there's like a whole tutor ministry that like gives jobs, and so they give him a job to be the
Ministry of
tutor
Silly
for
Tutors.
Allie.
Yes.
Yeah, Allie, who we met in the beginning, she's the woman who tried to film her professor and got kicked out of finishing school. She's the daughter of Frank Stone, pro athlete. They say that every time.
Yeah, he's a famous athlete, and he's always teaching his son how to play hockey up front.
Oh, it's not just
Big
high.
tough guy.
It's a different sport each time too.
Oh, yeah.
That's
One
the
day he's
joke.
just punching him.
One day it's punching, one day it's horseshoes, it's basketball. Yeah, he's a pro athlete. He did everything.
And he forgot to wear his helmet for the horseshoe toss. So
Yep.
his
And
poor son.
he did lawn darts.
Forgot to wear his helmet for the bowling class, too.
Yep.
And
What else,
lawn
Tim?
darts. And lawn
Yep.
darts.
Okay.
Oh, the William Tell. He's showing how to be William Tell. He forgot to put
Yep, that's a
helmet,
sport.
Helmet
Yeah,
on his head.
and axe throwing.
Axe throwing.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah.
Yep. So he should-
Allie's ill-defined. I guess she's a slacker. She's in the pool. I liked her at the beginning as a character, but now she's just a slacker. She did something good. She exposed a peeper.
I don't think she's a slacker. I think they even say it as much. Like she's just never been given like strong guidance before. Because she's sunning herself in the pool,
Sounds
and
like
he
an
shows
excuse.
up and he immediately is like, he goes, did you read my notes I sent? There's a dress code.
Yes.
2-piece bathing suits, not you have to go get dressed. And then she says, as she runs off, she goes, my last tutor was an indecorous devious who tried to see me and my friend disrobing. I
Yeah,
like this whole dress code thing. So then we learn it's been 2 hours of studying. Oh, no, they've been studying for 4 hours. It's the most she's ever studied because there's never been anyone who's listened to her before, Tim.
Right.
Yeah.
She's annoying. Right?
Well, he makes a deal with her. He's hired to 5 hours every day to tutor her, right? And he says, we're going to do 2 hours of study. We're going to do 3 hours of walking around the community. And the last 10 minutes, you can ask me anything you want about my private life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounded creepy to me.
You're
You're a tutor. Come on.
Yeah, but she seems very interested in that because spoilers, he realizes she's very bright and he's kind of trying to get her to become a reporter to replace that evil Sparky Watts.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Really?
He's not trying to. He's not scheming, but he's being very supportive of that.
So I think this happens after, but it might have happened before, people listening.
Yep.
When we meet Neil's pals, Millie and Troy.
Yep.
Is it Millie or Troy who's eating peanuts?
Troy is eating peanuts.
And Millie flips out. And he's like, you're supposed to share those. You don't share anything. You don't share that food with us. And he's like, I don't want to share my peanuts.
Yep. And Troy's mad he didn't share butternut squash with him from the day before. And he's like, butternut squash can't be shared. It's a sloppy thing to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I did have a little list here. Other things Troy won't share. Other things Troy won't share. His golf balls. Mm-hmm. His flesh balls. His chicken fingers.
His flesh fingers.
His trophy fingers. Right. His flashlight.
His flashlight.
George. His flashlight.
Yay. Seddy Bimco.
A flashlight joke every week. I fit it in.
You do. Yep. You get in a flashlight joke every week and a hidden Playboy joke every week. Are the two connected? Probably. We see Crickly the monster eating something red for no reason. The sheriff gives Neil a hard time because that newspaper said disgraced tutor back in town.
He's like a very gruff cop.
Yeah, although his name is Paul Teak.
Teak.
Which we'll talk about later. Paul Teak.
Paul Teak.
Do you remember that joke?
Paul Teak. I don't.
He says, are you named Paul? He goes, you know why they call me Paul Teak? And he goes, is it because you have a love of antiques and you spend shopping? He goes, no, I wish. It's because I use antiquated methods of investigation.
Yes. Okay. He's definitely a guy who never saw Star Wars.
I kind of assumed it was a reference to the 1988 Beastie Boys album, Paul's Boutique, and they just kind of left out the Sabu in the middle.
Could be.
Yep.
Deep cut.
Yep, that's not deep cut. Everybody fucking knows the Beastie Boys.
He meets his god cousin, and she's not going to the wedding, and he is. Do we even need to mention that? Yeah, because he meets his god cousin's fiance, Philippe, and Philippe's a total asshole. And he's an asshole. Every man is an asshole.
Everybody's such an asshole. Like, they do have scenes of just random people in the street, like, shaking their heads at Neil. He's such a pariah.
Neil writes a poem for his ex-girlfriend. He's Emmeline, hoping to get her back, but she's like, no, I've moved on. Neil's friend.
Oh, we should mention that. Teddy, the musician who lives in the basement, his roommate.
Plays guitar in the park, and people come dancing.
Oh, that's not yet, though.
That's not yet? Okay.
No. First, what happens...
That's where my notes are.
I know, but your notes suck. Your notes fucking suck.
There's so much. It's a messy movie. He just wants to find the river.
Let me take over. All right. Because Professor Matthews, it turns out, is in town. The guy that had been... He attacks Neil with a crutch because he's got a sprained back and stuff from falling out of the tree.
Yeah, he fell out of the tree just like McFly.
Just like McFly. Oh, whoa. And this movie came after... Oh, no, it came after.
Okay. Way after.
And Neil asks him, are you in town for business? Or are you just following Allie like the pathetic leech I think you are? And he goes, the latter. That made me laugh out loud. Then Neil shows up at Emmeline's house, his ex, to read her the poem that Tim mentioned. But Danny, her fiance, pours dehumidifier firewater on him. Yeah. And he drops the poem and leaves it. And then Allie grabs the poem. And what I could not believe, this poem, which plays a kind of important part in the movie, we never see the poem.
That's true.
But we kind of do.
This guy writes songs about poop. He couldn't write one poem?
Well, that's the thing. He did. I actually freeze framed it and went back and was able to see it. So I'm going to read you the
real poem.
This is the real poem, definitely. I didn't make this up myself. You ready, Tim?
I'm ready.
There once was a man from New Hampshire who was maybe in love with a vampire. He said with a grin as he wiped off his chin, that sucked. That's for damn sure.
That's not a love poem.
No, that's why he didn't read it. The movie introduces at this point a little bit of a ticking clock where Mr. Stone says, I'm signing up Allie for an aptitude test to get a job at like a place.
Barista.
Or something.
She's going to learn how to work those machines that make the Wendy's milkshakes.
Yeah.
Which are not really milkshakes. You got to eat those things. Do you ever have one?
No.
You got to eat them. You never had a Wendy's milkshake? You cannot drink it.
No, I'm pretty lactose intolerant.
Well, I'm talking about when you were a teenager. How long have you been intolerant?
I don't know, but I didn't eat that shit when I was a kid.
All right.
I feel like there wasn't really a Wendy's near me. I don't feel, Tim, I'll tell you a weird story about me. There was even like a McDonald's near me for some reason.
Come on,
my
you
town
live
was
on
like
Long Island.
I know, it was a Burger King town. Like Burger King ruled that place with an iron fist.
Nice.
And McDonald's also smelled like feet. And so she gets her 5 minutes to speak with him at the end of each day. Allie to Neil. She finds the poem. She's like, here's the poem I wrote. Will you read? He goes, hey, this is the poem I write. She goes, yeah, and I sent another copy to Emmeline with a courier with a message to meet her at 6.
He's like, oh.
But he's like, okay. This is when Teddy's.
He's very much like he's on depressants most of the movie. Or Neil.
He probably is. This is when Troy. Not Troy.
Teddy.
Teddy. No, Teddy. He sees Teddy. Neil sees Teddy in the park.
He's playing guitar.
And some locals show up in this, and like they're dancing so shittily to his shitty music.
But one girl's popping. She explains, "I'm popping. It's the new thing."
Did you realize she was popping?
No. I forgot what popping was. Do you remember it?
Well, the way they describe it in the movie is it's the sudden flexing and unflexing of your muscles, so it seems as if you're popping. And I've seen popping, and like it is an impressive sort of dance move. This woman was not popping. It was hilarious. She just this woman. I guarantee you go to any small town in New Hampshire right now, and you walk into the nearest park, she's there.
I do remember popping. Yeah, I remember seeing pop.
You're pretty good at popping, right?
I said that's fat. That's what happened back then.
I remember that. And then I said word next to you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good times.
It's probably dope too.
And then you said represent. Let's see.
The girl that's popping, she's like,
popping.
I need a shower. I'm homeless. I'm free fallen. She's like, can I go take a shower?
She says I'm a vagabond. That's her big term. She goes, I'm a vagabond. But I'm sweaty. Can I go shower? And he's like, sure. So next thing we know, this is where I was gonna do my RB list, because literally Allie asks us why is RB.
Do it again.
We have to jump. George. Okay, all right. So the first one is Ruth Bader. Second one is Rogue Baboon. All right. So then Neil is running home to go to the toilet, which I guess that ties into the runny bowels. And he flings open the door and he sees Pamela naked in the shower.
We don't.
In case you're wondering, Kevin Cablasto, we don't see anything. And he runs downstairs and he's like, Teddy, there's a naked lady in the shower. And Teddy's like, you saw her naked? And he starts fighting.
Yeah, before me, you saw her naked? That's the whole thing, right?
I guess.
He says, don't worry, but I hate to tell you this, she's the type of girl that pees in the shower. Pees in the shower. Pees on the floor.
She also had an RB, a rectal blowout.
I thought she had RB tattooed on her butt or something.
Oh, what did that stand for?
Rabid
Bigfoot?
Blowout. It's a warning sign.
Oh, it's like the way people have like those medical alert bracelets.
Yes.
In case she's unconscious in the hospital, like, whoa, watch out, point that other way. This one has rectal blowouts.
Right.
We're a good podcast. She breaks up their fight by threatening to drop her towel, which, as Tim pointed out, the fight was apparently because he was mad he got to see her naked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not effective. I'd be like, okay, let's keep fighting.
This is very Hallmarky, I have to say. Very Hallmarky.
But do you mean like a very clean cut?
Yeah.
It
for
was.
the most part.
Yeah.
But did they even swear? I don't think they even swore.
That's a good question.
I was thinking at the end, I don't remember any swear words.
Yeah, you might be right. Now we see Emmeline, who has gotten the poem. She's kind of waiting around, and her nephew Bradley wants to play something called Helicopter Hamburger.
Yes, not nephew. This is going to be her son when she.
Oh, her son. Yeah, her stepson to be. And
I was like, "What is that?"
She's like, I thought it was going to come back because I wrote all this stuff.
I did too.
Yeah, she's like,
I tried to write a list, but I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't.
I tried too. I started. I'm like, I did another list later instead. But it sucked. So she doesn't play Helicopter Hamburger, which is bad. But then she leaves. And this part I didn't understand. And I apologize, filmmakers, if you're listening. She does leave to go meet him, but I guess she gets there too late. So yeah. So Neil's sad, and he decides what he's going to do.
Something happens to Neil. I forget. It's a car breakdown.
He's waiting in the woods where they're supposed to meet. She gets a late start
because her son's like, I want to play Hamburger Helicopter, and her boyfriend too is like, why won't you play Helicopter Hamburger? It's his favorite game.
It's an excellent way to build family bonding. It's weird. And then and folks, it's never addressed again. We just drop Helicopter Hamburger. I mean, I invite you all to think of what it might be.
Maybe it was cut out.
Maybe it's going to be in one of our stories.
Maybe both.
So then the next thing that happens is we see Neil has contacted famous monster hunter Ito Hootkins. Yep.
Ito.
And he's kind of like Kraven the Hunter from Spider-Man, and that he has hunted every single being that lives on the planet. So he's like, what you haven't gotten Ito is you haven't gotten the River Beast.
It's played by Neil's father, by the way, real life.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. And he said he hires him to kill the River Beast, which is half reptile, half ape, half I don't know what, and Ito wants to keep all the meat.
Ape? Yeah, he wants all the meat. We never know why either.
And they refer to that later again, so he thought it was going to pay off. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Maybe it relates to Hamburger Helicopter. Well, Teddy playing guitar again, and Amanda. This is important.
Amanda? You mean Pamela?
Pamela, his girlfriend that took a shower. She always has kitty litter, and she's like, kitty litter, it's good for everything. It soaks up moisture.
Shit. Tim, did we do the same list again?
No, I did a list called things that kitty litter is not useful for, because she said it's good for everything.
I did lists of uses for things kitty litter is for. Who should go first?
You go first, and I'll counteract.
So this is a counter. This is a
No, she says
fight.
it's good for everything. It cures everything. She's saying.
Well, she's sweaty, so she throws kitty litter on herself. This is, and then she's like, "Yeah, it's the most perfect thing ever invented." So here's another list, a list of other uses for kitty litter.
Wow.
Number 1, providing traction on slippery surfaces. They actually did use that one in the movie. 2,
Especially if you have rectal blowouts. Yeah.
Rectal blowouts, yes.
It's good for that.
2, you can make a used kitty litter snowman. You can use the little kitty dukes as its carrot nose.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, it adds a little unexpected crunch to an ice cream soda. Yeah. Number 4, you could bury foes in it up to their necks.
Foes? Your enemy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enemies, your foes, yes. Number 5, it can be used as ballast for backyard lawn chair balloons. Remember that guy tied his lawn chair and he tied the balloon to it? If he had kitty litter in his lap, he maybe wouldn't have flown away 3 states. Number 6, you could sprinkle a little on before a date for that I'm just about to have a cat piss in me set that drives babes crazy.
Nice.
Yep. Number 7, you could throw in the eyes of marauding mutants.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I watched Furiosa last night. That's why this is in my mind. And number 8, the most important, it provides much needed secondary location for Tim to surreptitiously blast a Duke in whilst visiting someone's house.
Every list does not have to end with me.
Says you. Now, what's your list of things you can't use kitty litter for?
Well, she thought it was good for so much. I wanted to name a few things it's not good for. So.
Yeah, you had to tamp down her enthusiasm. She was throwing kitty litters over perp. I mean, come on, this girl's got problems.
Well, kitty litter, it can't cure AIDS. Okay. Kitty litter.
What's wrong with you? That's how you start off. First off, making AIDS jokes. Also, old reference.
Not a joke.
Stop. Yeah, okay.
It's
it
the
can't.
truth.
You're right. You're actually right. You're right.
Kitty litter cannot absorb the stink of the podcast known as Bat and Spider.
Lord knows they try. You can hear them crunching as they shift about in it up to their necks.
Yes. It also usually can't absorb the stink of 5 cats pooping.
Oh, hey. That starts at me, folks. That's actually.
Also, kitty litter, it can't cause AIDS either. And that's my list. That's my list.
All right, good list, Tim. Folks, another competing list from your friends at Seddy Bimco.
Wow.
Write to us at settybimco@gmail.com. Tell us which one you like better and why it was mine.
I also sent a lot of postcards to cannabis stores. So if you're out there working at your cannabis store, write us a letter. We'll give you a shout out.
We'll yell out to your shit. Tim is stoned to the bone as we record every time. Yep.
Wow.
He has his pupils are little green leaves. All right. So we join Ito Hootkins as he's looking for monsters. He sees the picnic babes.
Oh, that's right.
Running joke. It's kind of a weird one. Anytime someone's looking for the monsters, there's just 2 women having a picnic in the middle of the woods.
Right.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, Kevin Cablasto, they're not like babes. They're just like 2 random women, but they call them picnic babes.
We see their ankles. I have a note here. Here's a big part of the movie. It gets boring. It meandered a bit.
Well, this is funny because this is right before all the murder. This is the first murder, but
well, Neil meets Allie. I didn't know if we're up to here.
Yeah,
and she takes off her sweater.
She asks for. She goes, "I have a very in order, Kevin Cablasto. It's not sexy." She's like, "I have a very modest tank top underneath this. Would it be okay if I took my sweater?" He goes, "Yes." And Professor Matthews, the creep, shows up out of nowhere.
Yes, that was an okay joke.
Yeah, it was. They get in a fight. Neil and Matthews. Matthews calls the sheriff. The sheriff's like, "You got to come here in order to like tell me in person.
Yes,
So he calls up like Google Maps. He goes, "Oh, I have to cut through the woods to get to the sheriff." And he goes to the woods and gets murdered by the river beast.
Finally, here I have a note.
Yeah.
51 fucking minutes before we see the river monster attack someone.
Is it really that? Yeah, there's not. I
wrote it
remember
down.
thinking at one point, I'm like, there's not a lot of river beast in this. Don't let the river beast get you.
Yeah. I'm not really worried about the river beast getting anyone.
Well, which is funny because spoilers, a lot of people end up dying. So Teddy goes back home and there's a big ball of money. Not Teddy. Neil goes out and there's a big ball of money from Teddy. He's like, that's my half of the rent and somewhat I owe in back rent for you. And he's like, wow. He's like, yeah, I'm getting my life together. Pamela's really helping. And also then he gives him a little bag of kitty litter because it's good for everything.
Good for everything.
That's probably what we should have done the list there maybe.
Yeah. Because he'd say, well, it doesn't cure AIDS.
She goes, but
Teddy.
It doesn't cause it either. I'm like, interesting.
So Neil ends up on the newspaper again. Front page.
Well, yeah, but before that, it's literally like Emmeline finds him and she's like, I'm sorry, I came to find you. I couldn't find you. She takes him back. And then seconds later, a guy shows up. Hey, you're the guy on the front page.
Because there's a picture of him hiring
Hootkins. Yeah.
Like,
Ito Hootkins.
You're after that river creature again.
And she leaves him again.
And he goes, don't call me RB.
It
means rectal blowout.
And I'm just going to say, Emmeline sucks.
Yeah.
She sucks.
She does.
So she leaves him again. So they're together for like a hug. And then the sheriff comes again and he confronts him again. There's a lot of these confrontations. Like, I see you in the paper again.
Troublemaker.
He has another tutoring session with Allie.
He tutors little kids for like 5 seconds. You notice that scene?
My theory about that is they are investors. It's the kid. I think somebody gave some money for this movie, and they're like, "Just put my kids there for a second." He's like, "Yeah," because he needs more money to pay Ito Hootkins. But he meets Ito, and Ito gives him photos of the picnic babes, and he's like, "I don't need you anymore, Ito. What's the purpose anymore?"
Then we go to the wedding, right?
Yep,
That's
and we're at the god cousin's wedding.
There's a big scuffle about some guy eating too much of the casserole.
Yeah, well, that's some guy. It's Greg, the fiance of Emmeline.
That's right.
And Millie, the friend and former bandmate of Neil, is going to fight him because he's gone on for seconds when they haven't gone for first. I want to stress to everybody how bleak this wedding is. I would say 20 guests total. It's in a backyard. The bride's sitting in an Adirondack chair, just like looking defeated. She's like, "This whole wedding is terrible. My god aunt isn't here. The band won't play unless they get paid, but Philippe, her husband, won't pay unless they play."
I think one guy has a rectal blowout.
No guy has a rectal blowout. Another guy has runny bowels. Unconnected, yeah.
Unconnected.
And then Neil saves the day by reuniting the River Mud Warriors, and they perform a song called the River Mud Shuffle.
Yep. Do you like that song? Everybody's shuffling. Everybody's popping.
Yep, everybody's shuffling. I was the part of me that's immature, which is the largest part of me, was thinking of ways to make River Mud a joke along the lines of rectal blowouts, but I didn't need to. Yeah, we already did it. Yeah.
We've cleaned it up with kitty litter.
Yeah, Emmeline. Oh, that's another thing it's good for, cleaning up songs. Should we mention Emmeline, though? She's making eyes at Neil this thing because he's up there. He's the lead singer. We should probably mention that.
Yes. That's probably his real band that he has.
It probably. Oh my god. Yeah. Which that's funny because that guy Millie, he's weird looking.
Yes.
No offense if you're listening, Millie. I know you're playing a character. I'm sure the real you is very good looking. You have a very symmetrical face, unlike me.
George says that to everybody, so don't worry.
That's my no. Hey, Millie, give me a call. Teddy wakes up and Pamela's gone, off to continue her vagabond ways.
Because she saw a homeless man. She's like, I miss being a vagabond.
A guy who was skipping through the woods, yeah. And so she leaves, but he's like, oh. And then we see the cousin and Philippe, freshly married. They're stopped on the side of the road. He has to run in the woods to blast a Duke. And he's running deep into the woods. He sees the picnic babes, then the river beast kills him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
then Greg, Brady, no, whatever the kid's name. I wrote Brady. It's not Brady. What was it?
Oh, Bradley.
Bradley.
Yeah, his father gets killed by the river beast.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's set it up. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. They're having a picnic. And Danny, of course, or Greg is making fun of like the river beast, and Emmeline leaves, and him and his son go into the woods, and they see the river babes, and the picnic babes, and then
river babes.
The river beast kills the father, And Bradley wipes out and hits his head and is knocked unconscious. And then Emmeline reports them missing.
He goes to the sheriff. Neil. So Neil gets arrested because he's like...
Not yet.
No? Okay.
Because first Sparky and the photographer go into the woods to look for the missing people. The River Beast kills them. So this movie that, like, we were complaining had not enough kills. Suddenly there's, like, just murder.
Not blood either. Kevin Cablasto, no blood. Sorry.
There was a little bit of blood. You saw it coming out of the mouth of one of them.
So then the sheriff arrests Neil because he has a grudge against all the people that are disappearing.
And actually, by the sheriff arrests Neil, it's actually Frank Stone, Allie's father, who does a citizen arrest on him.
He does that.
Yeah.
But he's in prison. He's in a jail cell with the sheriff. What's the sheriff's name?
Paul Teague Higgins.
Paul Teague, Sheriff Higgins.
Paul Teague.
He tells Neil, he's a cop from the old days. I do things like the old days. And he says, that my night job is burning crosses. And, I lock people of color up just because they suspiciously own a car.
Here's the thing, Tim.
He gets pissed and fights with other cops over who burned the most crosses. That's it. That's what he says to him.
I appreciate the social criticism of the police force, but
he's criticizing.
Is it funny? Is it funny? I don't feel like it's laughing because
I'm criticizing America.
The thing that's said, it's true. Yeah, but it's not funny.
Well, kids got to learn somehow.
They learn, man. Tim, question: do you think anybody learns anything from Seddy Bimco?
Yes.
I do hope that somewhere there's a kid who's like going through like week by week. They're doing a state by state report on the United States, and they use the garbage that we put in. Like the teacher's like, "You're being left back." So we see. So yeah, he's in jail. We see Troy and Millie arguing about whether or not he's crazy because Millie is always very dismissive of Neil's beliefs, and Troy believes him no matter what.
They're like
and Troy's like the better friend.
They're yin and yang.
And here's the line. Millie goes, "There's nothing in those woods but the picnic babes," which I thought was funny. And then he says, "The river beast is mythical, like Chupacabra or the Gosper Cap."
I heard that too. I knew you were going to peek up.
Yeah, I got really excited.
Your ears would perk up.
I stopped the movie. I'm like, what the fuck's an Gosper Cap? And those of you who are actually paying attention to this episode may remember in Cryptids, I mentioned the Gosper Cap up front. Mm-hmm. Gosper Cap is a reference to another movie by these same creators.
All right.
Called Monsters, Marriage, and Murder in Manch Vegas.
Whoa, Manch Vegas.
I guess they were just going for alliteration as a joke. And in that movie, their Gosper Caps are thin Bigfoot type like creatures, just like the she devil, like the monkey devils and all that stuff.
Did you see clips from this movie? Did they do special effects?
Yeah,
they have thin.
It looks
tall.
It's like I wouldn't even say they're that tall. They're like just normal looking people wearing monkey suits. Kind of.
They didn't hire like John Cleese, put him in a suit to be a tall, thin.
Tim, did you see that the budget of this film is estimated at $5,000? I don't think they're hiring anybody. I think this is a real classic. I'm free this weekend. I could give you 3 hours movies.
Nice.
Yeah. So the Gosper Caps, wanted to mention that. Allie goes to visit Neil in jail, and she's like, you've helped me find things out about myself. I'd like investigating. Maybe I want to be a reporter. I'm going to go find info to free you. And then he's like, I'm in a cage, man. And like he just
that's the only acting he did.
That was kind of funny.
And Bradley finally comes home, so they don't think he's dead. He's this kid who knocked his head.
Yes. Bradley wakes up and he's like, the river beast got dad. So now they know. But before that has happened, Allie and Troy go into the woods to find the river beast.
It's a whole thing.
They spot Ito Hootkins, who's taking pictures of the babes. Then they spot the river beast. Ito walks up to take a pic, and just the beast just kills him. Like he just walks right up to him with a little camera. But he gets a photo, and Troy runs down to catch the camera and get it. But before he leaves, he goes to Allie. He's like, I want to be called Killer's Moon. She's like, what? Why? He goes, I just always want to be called Killer's Moon. So he runs down, gets the camera, throws it to Allie. He gets killed, but he throws it. She goes, rest well, Killer's Moon.
Okay. So
then at this point, Paul Teague releases Neil, Sheriff Paul Teague, because, the kid's like, the river monster killed my dad. Yep. And Neil goes and gets his remaining friends, Teddy, the musician, who is at first fights him because he thinks that maybe he killed Pamela, but no, Pamela just left to be a vagabond. And he gets Millie.
Yeah.
They go into the woods. They find Troy. Troy's dead.
It's a big fight.
Then they fight the river beast.
We just say how he gets killed. He kills a few more people, but you want to say how they kill the river beast? It's Neil.
Well, yeah. Well, the river beast. Well, the first river beast he doesn't kill Millie and Troy, Teddy. He just bangs their heads together,
Like
and then he's fighting the dude Neil, and then the dad
Frank
Stone
the dad
comes
of
running
Allie,
through.
who's an athlete.
the professional athlete. He comes through, he fights him,
and he dies
with, like
horribly.
slow motion kitty punches in slow motion, yeah. And then River Beast throws leaves in his face and stabs him with a stick. And then Tim, how do they kill the River Beast?
Kitty litter.
Neil throws kitty litter on him,
and he dries out because he notices he needs to drink water a lot. He's always drinking water.
And
the end.
The end. Well, no, because there's 1 year later.
But what if there's the end? Yes.
The
Okay.
end.
A year later, there's an award ceremony of statue of Frank, the athlete, who's actually Frank, spray painted silver.
It's just clearly Frank with silver paint.
He
It's
did a
hilarious.
good job standing hill. Still, I mean,
He did actually. You're right. I mean, he probably should have closed his eyes,
why didn't they just make a photo? Yeah.
or not put like sunglasses on, or just like have his eyelids. I don't know. Because he looks like I when I was scrubbing through this film to see how much longer it was at one point, I saw that. I'm like, oh, there's a human statue, like one of those people you see in town squares sometimes.
Right. Maybe he does that for a living. That's why he stood still so well.
Maybe. So we find out Allie has indeed become a reporter.
Yeah.
Neil is now engaged to Emmeline, and they're going to adopt Bradley.
Yeah.
As their own son, and Bradley's watching at home, and you see him do a fist pump, but he's not at the ceremony.
Yeah.
And they unveiled the statue of Frank. No, I'm worried. Say my story, you.
Jesus.
Pamela returns. She hugs Teddy. She's like, I'm back because I love you. And then they interview the sheriff, and he has this whole weird speech, which I think is inspired by the end of The Blob, Part 2. And he goes, if they hadn't stopped this beast, it may have devoured America.
Now we have the part of the show where Tim and George talk about how this movie is like Star Wars and Labyrinth.
So, it's very simple. This movie inspired me to say what Obi-Wan said to Ponda Baba's arm in the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Oh, shit.
It's too long. Let's cut this down a bit. Yeah. It's too long. This
It's
arm.
good one, Tim. It's good.
That's all. Too long. Too long.
I always like to say how it's like 1986's Labyrinth.
what you said.
We decided. Yeah. I've gotten the date wrong. We know Labyrinth, made by Jim Henson. It's got David Bowie in it and Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, this like that movie, which had state-of-the-art creature creations by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Mm-hmm. This movie had a creature in it.
Wow.
That's it.
Try harder, George.
That's pretty hard.
Wherever you are, wherever you're hiding, I'll find you.
Revenge.
I want to go first, actually, because mine ties in largely to stuff that happened at the very end that you tried talking over. So I don't think people got to hear it fully. So I want to do it while they still remember it before you derail it with whatever you're going to say.
I was just trying to help you with your Labyrinth.
Nope, I don't need nothing from you. All right. So start my music, please. I need that from you.
Bum-ba-da-bum-bum-bum.
That's not the music. All right. Okay. So the movie has ended, and we've learned the dysfunctional relationship of Neil and Emmeline are back together, and they decided to adapt Bradley. Bradley, he was already still hurting from not having to get into play that hamburger helicopter. He bears a real grudge about that. And then he's like, as he's sitting there, he's like, wait, they're raising me as their own kid, yet here I am watching this on fucking TV. They left me home alone. I'm dealing with the death of my father. My mother is probably dead too. So like, what? This is how they're going to treat me? And it embitters him, Tim.
He was on the couch.
He was on the couch, but he's like, why didn't they take me with them? And he realizes they're not going to raise me like their kids. Or if they are, they're going to raise me like shit. They're going to treat their kids like shit. So he goes upstairs, Tim, and he goes into his bedroom. We haven't seen this yet, but he has a home cloning kit there.
Wow.
And he grabs a little chunk of the river beast that he's been holding on to.
Okay.
And he fucking clones the river beast. He grows a new river beast.
Interesting.
He lets
He's
it
a smart
loose.
kid.
He is pretty smart. We don't really spend much time with him. He's very smart. In fact, he even became smarter after he fell and hit his head. It gave him a weird sort of concussion that made him super smart. The river beast now is cloned, and Neil isn't able to stop it, so it starts eating all of America. It eats the entirety of New Hampshire because they're all too busy living. They're not living free, so they all die, you know?
Yes.
And then he's going to move on to kill the rest of the world.
Which
but
state
something
next?
luckily happens.
Which the state? Southern state. New Hampshire.
Vermont.
What state? Okay.
But that's where he meets Spider-Man's nemesis, Kraven the Hunter.
Jesus.
Kraven the Hunter heard tell of a beast that he hadn't hunted yet himself called the River Beast. And he uses his animal strength gifted to him by strange juggle potions and his abilities that he honed hunting the most savage beasts of the Marvel Universe, which I will remind you, Tim, has the Savage Land, where there's living dinosaurs and prehistoric mammals still. This guy has fought T-Rexes with his bare hands. He takes that river beast and he pulls its head off.
That's easy.
That's easy. Yep. And that's how the movie ends.
And you had time to work on that. And you were excited about that.
I was. It's a good one.
Okay.
All right. And my music.
I like the twist.
Yeah, it was good.
I like the punchline.
Kraven the Hunter. Tim, have you seen the Kraven the Hunter movie?
No.
All right, I'm going to tell you something. Tim, I'm going on record here. This is my wife and I were on an airplane recently, and we're like, oh shit, Kraven the Hunter's playing. Let's watch this together. We watched it, and Tim.
You got divorced.
It was pretty good.
No, it was not.
No, it was actually pretty good. It's fun. Right, well. It's fun. If you like to see Aaron Taylor Johnson bite a man's throat out and then spit the throat into another man's face, Ryan Taylor Johnson, a.k.a. He's Quicksilver in Avengers.
Home Improvement? Oh, okay.
No.
I thought he was one of the kids from Home Improvement grown up.
Nope. That's
Ryan Taylor Johnson. I don't know. Well, I'll watch it. I don't think I will like it.
Listen, everybody. I understand that the non-Spider-Man Spider-Man movies are pretty bad. I will say that, what was it? Madam Web was one of the most inept pieces of filmmaking I've ever seen outside of a Seddy Bimco film.
You watched
So we went in this expecting nothing.
Okay.
And the fact that we enjoy it, we're going to watch Kraven again on a big TV because we're like, that was fun. He's killing people. He nails a guy to a wall with a crossbow. It's good stuff. Yep.
Well, Schwarzenegger did that in
Kindergarten Cop.
Yes.
He shoots that little kid. He goes,
stick
around.
Nailed him to that steam pipe, and steam came out.
Yep. And he says, "Let off a little steam."
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I was trying to think of a kid one, but I couldn't.
Yep. He said, "Blast a dookie." How about that?
Play my music.
Play your music.
Let's get out of this.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna go.
You can't run away. I listen to yours. I interact.
You just talked over it. You talked over it.
Well, that's how we play.
That's
how we ride.
All right, go.
Okay.
Right.
Allie looks at the statue of her dad at the end of this movie. As we said, it was a silver statue. Yes.
What's her last name?
Allie. I forget. I wrote it down.
But I wanted to make a joke about Cat. Wouldn't it be funny if her name was Alley Cat? Yeah, Alley Cat.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's good. Good stuff.
Allie looks at the statue.
Mm-hmm. Wait, oh my God. Tim, his name is Stone and he's a statue.
Yes, but I think he's not made of stone.
What do you think? He's just
silver.
He's just spray painted meat.
You got to give me a paragraph before you interrupt.
Okay.
Poor Allie looks at the statue of her dad, and it looks so real. In fact, it looks like somebody just varnished her dad's body and spray painted over it.
That's true.
She was sure the town buried her dad, but the town fathers are known for cutting corners.
Was she New Hampshire?
Money. She was New Hampshire. They had buried her. The more she looks at that statue of her dad, the more she felt maybe it actually was her dad's body. So once it was placed in the athletic field where it was going to be placed to honor him, as they said it would be, she decided
he's a professional athlete.
Yep. She was going to steal it and get it to the New Hampshire X-ray Center 30 miles away so she could find out if her dad's body was in there. So she stole it from the field and got it home.
When she picked it up, was it heavier seeming than her father would be? That would be the first clue.
It was... she had to drag it. It was pretty heavy.
Okay. But he was a big guy, so maybe... And she
was
pretty weak. Yeah.
Yep. So once she got it home, the whole town was on alert, and the police were given an APB to stop and arrest anyone who might have the silver statue of Frank. It looks silver, yes?
What does APB stand for?
All Points Bulletin.
Oh, there's your chance for a joke.
The letters don't make rectal blowouts. So.
Well, it could, though. How about anal bulb blowout?
That's what APB.
APB. Anal prolapse blowout.
Wow. That's a painful one.
Yeah, that really hurts.
So Allie wonders what she'll do. How's she going to sneak her statue out of town to get it x-rayed in her car?
How is she, Tim?
She asked Neil because Neil's helped her. So you know what they do?
He was before Zod.
Yes. Together they form a plan. She dresses as a Kansas farm girl. Neil dresses as a scarecrow. And they put a little silver funnel upside down on Frank's statue and give him an axe, and they grab Allie's stuffed tiger, because it's
close enough.
It's pretty big. Thus, they all pile into the car with the intention of telling anyone who stops them they're going to the Wizard of Oz convention called Ozfest. They just made it up.
Which I know, no, that's a real thing. You've mentioned it on the show before.
Yeah, but there's not one happening, George.
Oh, there was. Oh.
They're lying.
Oh.
So, of course, we're outside of town. They're pulled over by Officer Hansen.
Officer Paul T. Hansen.
Paul T. Hansen. He wonders what they're all up to. And they tell him, of course, hey, we're on the way to Ozfest, just like they planned. And the Sheriff Hansen says, but why you got a tiger there? Isn't it supposed to be a lion? And Allie says, well, we're taking some liberties with the costumes. And then Sheriff asks, yeah, George?
Can I share that in the original L. Frank Baum novels, there is actually a character named the Hungry Tiger?
Ooh, no, because you ruined my story.
Yeah, he's the Hungry Tiger. His whole thing is that he's always very hungry, and he always is expressing his desire to eat babies, but he can't because they're babies. So he's guilty. Like the way the Cowardly Lion is like cowardly, his thing is he feels guilty about eating babies, even though he wants to eat babies.
When he eats, then after he eats them, does he go, they're great? Is that what he says?
Probably. Back to your story.
Where was I? Oh, so Sheriff, he keeps asking questions. He says, why is the man why is the Tin Man so quiet? And Allie says, well, he's just really into his character, pretending he's rusted. And then she throws her voice. She goes, oil can. And she's like, see, listen. Here.
Good move.
So then Sheriff Hansen says, I'm a big Oz fan myself. And
Does
I
he
get
tell
off,
them about the Hungry Tiger?
Yes, I love the Hungry Tiger. And I get off work at 10 minutes. I'm going to put on my Hungry Tiger costume and come with you.
And eat a baby.
And then Neil bursts in. He says, well, come on, Sheriff. I guess we got to be honest with you. We were embarrassed to say what we were going to go to for real. We're really going to a Star Wars fest. Allie is Princess Leia. We got the Tin Man in the back seat. We got C-3PO in the back seat. And we
Famously
got
gold, yes.
And we got that Ewok there. And me, I'm a scarecrow from the prequels. Because the Sheriff never watches the movies.
That's he could have said it was all from the prequels. There's no way the Sheriff saw the prequels.
Sheriff Hansen thinks for a minute and says, oh, I hate that Star Wars crap. Okay, never mind. On your way. But then a call comes on the radio.
What's it say, Tim?
It says there's a big disturbance at Ozfest. They need all the police right away. And Sheriff Hansen's like, wait a minute. There really is an Ozfest? Why are you saying you're going to a Star Wars fest? You guys are under arrest, because he arrests people for no reason.
Yeah. That is a plot point of the movie.
Yep. So they all sat in the jail cell waiting trial. They read the paper, and they read that, yes, there was an Ozfest. It was Ozzy Osbourne Fest, and that's what all the trouble was about.
Oh.
Well, they're hungry and weak.
He's not feeding them?
Nope.
Oh,
and
wow.
Allie stares at her father's statue in the cell with them,
It becomes a silver hot dog.
wondering if he's a silver hot dog first. Wondering if it's a real father, all painted, and imagining that he's saying, oil can. And as she watches the prison rats nibble on his fingers of the Frank statue, she thinks, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. The end.
When she saw him and thought he was a hot dog, did she say, is that a Frank Infurter?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. That was a good pod. That was a good, I don't know why.
You don't know why? That was a good story?
I don't know why. I mean,
it's called Don't Let the Prison Rats Get You. That's the sequel.
There's been a funny thing happening with your stories where like the departure point for the movies is so sharp as to have no connection with them. This has a little bit of one. This is a little bit connected.
But connected.
It's like Oz comes up a lot, I feel, too, right?
Lately, last 2 weeks.
Do you need to watch that again?
I guess so.
Have you watched Wicked?
No. I don't mind.
Wicked.
I'd like to see it, but I just haven't gotten to it.
Yep.
I heard it's long, so it better be good.
Man, Tim, can I tell you something I didn't know about Wicked?
You fell asleep in it.
It's a fucking part 1.
I know.
Dude,
see, now you know how I feel. I went to see the last Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie with you guys. I'm like, this fucking thing's continued.
I rember you ripped out a seat.
No idea what's going to...
Thank goodness Kraven the Hunter was there. People would have gotten hurt.
Too long. This movie, too long. You know how long Pee-wee's Big Adventure is?
100 minutes.
It's an hour and a half.
Yep. So longer than this movie.
Perfect. No, this movie is 139. I saw almost 140
I thought it was
minutes
110.
like last week. No.
Oh.
That's how you can tell. Holy Grail, hour and a half. And you're like, it's over already?
All right.
Sorry.
Did we get any mail? Tim, did we get any mail?
Did we get mail? We got so much mail the other weeks. Let me see. I'll refresh it even. Got no mail. So
Yep. All right. So what's the movie next week, Tim?
Well, there's a lot of good choices with 3 movies left.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be me, you, then me, then you're going to pick England. It worked out great because you wanted to do England.
I also called Louisiana.
You did. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Oh, Tim, I'm not. I have feelers out in the world. We'll just put it that way.
All right.
And it's going to be. I think it's going to involve me having to hand off some physical media to you.
Wow.
Yep.
So I found a couple of choices, but I want to get back to our roots with movies that are not meant to be goofy and funny. They're goofy and funny.
Good.
Yeah, well, they're not. They're goofy and funny because they're not good. Because they're going all the way to 1958.
Ugh.
Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. But it was filmed there. The Cool and the Crazy. It's about some teenagers and somebody brings some marijuana to town.
Wait, really?
Yeah, come on.
I bet these. How deep into their 50s do we think these teenagers will be?
I just looked at some pictures, so I didn't really look through the whole cast. But
Cool and the Crazy, 1958, huh?
Yep, it's on YouTube, people. It's only an hour and 10 minutes, so I was like, come on.
There's a character. There's an actor in it named Dickie Jones.
I saw that, but it's not Dick Jones that I think you're thinking.
No, just
Dick Jones from Bewitched. You're thinking?
No, I wasn't. No,
Dick Jones, the famous game show host.
No, I was just talking about dick because that's a word for penis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Got it.
Dickie.
All right. Write us a letter at SETTY Bimco with the E at the end.
Tell us how much better we are than Bat and Spider.
Our email's in our show notes. Watch us on YouTube and follow us. Follow us there. If you're one of the comic stores that got a letter, send us a postcard. Send us an email.
If you're a dispensary that got a letter and you're like, what the hell is this? Give us a listen. Probably smoke up beforehand. It might make a little bit more sense then.
I also sent these to a lot of truck stops about the nation. So if you're a trucker and you got this postcard,
take your moment from murdering drifters just to give us a line. That's what truckers do at truck stops.
That's our biggest audience storage, truckers.
Probably is. It probably is.
All right, I guess.
All right.
Should we say goodbye?
All right, say bye.
Bye. Be safe.
Bye, everybody.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Especially you, Bat and Spider.
This has been a Pity Party Line production.
Party line, it's a party line.
Tim, you had to go back so far. There's no way this list isn't worth it. No. Okay.
Just pretend we didn't go back.
You even tried to skip over that fucking scene yourself. You have no one to blame but yourself.
Our notes are crazy.